Pupmeister, and today I thought I would intro myself by my fish tank because you know what? My fish tank doesn't get enough love. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, today we are going to be building a beacon because I took on the Wither last time and now I have another star. So let's talk all about beacons today. So let's get started. Well, the first thing we should talk about is how do I make a beacon? So now that you have the Nether Star, and by the way, if you need to find out how to kill the Wither without very little risk to you, I will include a link to that video at the end of this video. But now that you have the Nether Star, you can put that right in the middle, 3 obsidian below, and surround it in glass, just like that, and you will get your beacon. So now that we have a beacon, we can just place it down, right? Wrong. It doesn't work that way. So if you want to pick it up, you can just hit it with your fist. You can notice it doesn't really matter if you use a pickaxe or your hand. It still takes pretty much the same time and you won't lose it. So you can break it with your hand or anything else for that matter. So how do you activate your beacon? Well, you need some blocks like iron. Okay, now there's 4 different sizes of pyramids you can use. The first one is 9 blocks, just like that. And then you put your beacon on top and kaboom! There you have your beacon. So if you right click on the beacon itself, you get this window. And because we only have our first level here, you have the first 2 powers to choose from. You can have speed or you can have haste. Now, if you're wondering what you can build your pyramid out of, you can build it out of these 5 items. I'm building it out of iron because for me it's the easiest thing to come by because I have an iron farm. But you can also use blocks of gold, blocks of diamonds, blocks of emeralds, or blocks of netherite. Why you would want to use netherite, I have no idea. Well, if you're in creative, I guess easy peasy. But in survival, unless you want to do some massive flexing, there's no point in using netherite. So we'll be using iron. And when you want to activate one of your powers, you just have to put a regular piece of iron in order to activate it. So if we want speed, we click speed, we put in our little payment, and we click check mark. And now if you look in the top right hand corner there, we have speed, so we can move a little faster around the beacon. And you might be asking, well, how far away can you get? And that is a great question. If you have the smallest size pyramid like this, it goes for a 20 block radius, okay? And it's not circular, it's a square. So it's 20 blocks out that way, 20 blocks out that way, and it comes to a corner back over there. Now if we click on the beacon again, haste, and let's put an iron ingot in there to activate it. Haste is probably one of the most used powers there are. And you saw the speed still there because it will slowly run out as the time disappears. So if we take a look here, you can see haste with the level 1 pyramid is 10 seconds. So if we switched that out for speed, you would have this for 10 seconds and then it would disappear. Now, what does haste do? It speeds up the process of breaking blocks. Now, I have an efficiency 5 here, so let's use our hand. And you can see it does break it faster. Maybe it's a little tough to see if you don't know exactly how long it takes to break some dirt without it, but it gives you a little bit of a boost. So let's take a look at the next level. Now, as you can see, you can break this all and build it somewhere else. And that's what I recommend, because if you're building something or you're trying to excavate a whole mountain or something like that, something like haste would come in very handy. So why leave it in one area? Put it in a shulker box or an ender chest, or just have it in your inventory when you know that you need it. And one thing I recommend, because it's the easiest way to remember, to make the biggest pyramid, you'll need 164 blocks. So if you just do a stack of 50, 50, and 64, you'll know that you have enough blocks to do that. And of course, you'll need your beacon. So let's create the next size pyramid. So the next size pyramid is a 5 by 5 pyramid. Okay, so 5 by 5 on the bottom, and then your 3 by 3 on top of that. And then you just put your beacon in the middle, and it will activate again. Now, when you have the second layer of pyramid and you right-click the beacon, you now have the first 4 powers to choose from. And in the second section here, resistance, if you click that, you'll see it come over here. You can't really access this until you have a full pyramid. So just kind of ignore this until you get your full pyramid. But right now, you've got resistance and you've got a jump boost. Resistance basically gives you more protection, so to speak, from mobs. So if things are like attacking you, you'll have a little more protection against them. And then if you look at jump boost, let's activate that. We should see it shortly. There it is. You can see we have a little more of a jump to our step. And that's jump 1. So when you get over to the secondary powers and a full pyramid, you can actually make all of these into a second level. So in other words, instead of just jump boost, you'll get jump boost 2. Instead of just resistance, resistance 2. Haste 2, speed 2, etc. And while we're at it, one of the other great things about a beacon is the light beam. It can show you where you are from a distance. Now, unfortunately for Bedrock, you'll be able to see it 64 blocks away. But for Java, you can see it 256 blocks away. So if you're not quite sure where your home base is, this will light the way and show you how to get home. As long as you're 256 blocks away, that is. So now let's take a look at the next level of pyramid, which is a 7 by 7, 5 by 5, and 3 by 3. Okay, so 7 by 7. And remember, every level must be solid. In other words, not just empty, and make sure you don't miss a block because then it's not going to activate correctly. But every level must be solid. Okay, and here we are with a 3-level pyramid. This is 1 level from max. Okay, so when we right click, now we have the first 3 levels. Now we also have strength. And when you click strength, just like the potion, it gives you extra strength to whatever you're doing. So you can get more damage and stuff like that. And let's take a look at the last pyramid, which is 4 levels and a total of 164 blocks. It'll be a 9x9, 7x7, 5x5, and 3x3. And here we go with our last pyramid, the Beaconator. That's another achievement. All right, so there we go. So this is the biggest of the pyramids. Now when we right click on the beacon, we also get the secondary powers. So now we can get any of these, say, strength and regeneration. If you want to, say, protect your area. Now, as you see, now you're getting strength 2 instead of just strength. Now, one other thing you can do here, if you're doing a lot of excavating or something like that, you can choose haste and then speed. And you can see you have both now in the top right-hand corner just by doing that. So you have speed and you have haste, just like that. Now, if you're doing a lot of mining, haste 2 is probably what you want. And you can activate that. You'll see the speed disappears shortly. There we go. And now you have haste 2. And haste 2 will basically allow you to instant mine many different blocks as long as you have like max tools like efficiency 5 kind of stuff going on. Then it allows you to instantly break a whole bunch of different stuff. Like, look at that, instantly broken. I do have an efficiency 5 shovel, so let's see what that might look like. Look at that. See how fast? You just basically go left to right and take it all out, just as if you were in the nether. Now, when it comes to this beam, you can actually change the color as well. Let's say you have a red stained glass. You can change it to red, just like that. Now, if you don't like the look of this glass here, and you can just break it, and it'll go back to normal, you can put in a pane of glass, and then the glass itself becomes invisible, but the beam will still change the color that you want. And the beautiful thing about this is you can combine colors. So if you want to combine, say, blue and purple, see, you can see the other pane right there when you're right on top of the beam. And then you can jump and place the blue. And now you have a combination of purple and blue up here. Because if you take a look, if I break the purple one, you'll see that's what the blue actually looks like. So you can create pretty much any color that you like because it will combine all the different colors. So you're not just restricted to the usual Minecraft colors. So now let's talk about some of the other variables of the beacon. For example, the beacon must be available to the sky. Okay, so you can't build this beacon inside a house without a hole for the beacon to shoot through, or it won't work. It has to be available to the sky. Now, you don't necessarily just need a hole because, as you can see from the glass, the beacon can go through certain items. What are those certain items? Well, a glass block, of course, like we saw. It can go through bedrock as well, so you can build this in the Nether just as easily as in the overworld. And it can go through the end portal frame. So if for some reason you want to build the frame, this under the frame of an end portal, I don't know why you would, but it can go through those blocks as well. So, but needless to say, the beacon can be built in any of the different worlds, whether it's the Nether, the overworld, or the end. And the last thing that it can go through is another beacon. So if you have two of these, you could stack the second one on top and then cover the outside of your pyramid, say in copper, and you can get sort of a different look to it, like a fake look to it, because copper obviously wouldn't work. But if you have the real pyramid beacon underneath, and then you have sort of the fake one on top, you can give it any kind of look you want. And it doesn't have to be a solid iron or solid emerald or whatever. So you can have a mix of any of the different ones. You can have a diamond block in there. You can have an emerald block over here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to all be one type of block. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of mining way down south, you're probably going to want to build this down below, okay? Because as far as the range is concerned, let's go through all of them actually, because I only covered the first one. So when you only have a 3x3, that will give you a 20 block radius. And you get 10 more for every level. So for the second level, you're looking at a 30 block radius, a 40 block radius, and a 50 block radius. And that isn't only a radius out there, but it's the same as downward. So if you have a full pyramid like this, it's good for 50 blocks down as well. Now, as far as up, however, it's 384 blocks up. So basically to the roof. So if you want to do a lot of mining, you can see if you put this all the way down, it's going to be activated pretty much everywhere in a 50 by 50 radius straight up. Just make sure that there's a hole all the way down so the beacon can hit the sky, okay? So the only other thing that I would like to talk about is a mega beacon. And what is a mega beacon and what can it do for you? So this is a mega beacon, so to speak. But instead of just one beacon at the top, you would have 6 beacons at the top. So in other words, each one of these cobblestone would all be a beacon. What is the benefit of that? Well, you can right click on each beacon and get the different powers. So in other words, you could have a speed 2, a haste 2, a resistance 2, a jump 2, and a strength 2, and a regeneration, all from one pyramid. But of course, it's going to take a lot more blocks, but not as many blocks as doing this 6 times. So if this is the kind of thing you want, you can do this and get all the powers. Now, how many blocks is it going to take you? Well, for a level 1 mega beacon, like you see right here, you need 20 blocks. You'll need 42 blocks on the next level, 92 on the third, and 152 on the fourth. So in other words, a total of 244 blocks to make a mega beacon. And of course, not only 244 blocks, but you're going to need 6 beacons, which is not that difficult. As you'll see in the video at the end here, I show you exactly how to kill the wither without any danger to you. So you can easily get 6 beacons. The toughest part of that being getting all the nether skulls that you're going to need to make the wither, because you need 3 skulls for each wither. So if you're gonna want 6 of these, that is 18 nether skeleton skulls that you're going to require. And of course, we all know it's not that easy to get those skulls. And the last thing that I want to mention is that the beacon itself gives off a light level of 15. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was informative for you. And if you do need to kill the wither in an easy way, the video should be popping up any second. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.